single person in this world has been through a traumatic experience. It might have affected us emotionally, physically, financially, mentally. Some of us, we don't even know that it's affected us. Some of us don't even know that we have dealt with trauma. I was sitting on the prayer mat, I was reading the Quran, and I was just reading the Quran, and then all of a sudden, I started crying. I started crying out of nowhere. That situation that happened to me when I was a child kept popping up in my head, and every time when I wanted to carry on reading the Quran, I just couldn't, because I was just crying. I didn't let that trauma stop me from becoming who I am today. Don't let trauma stop you from getting that career. Don't let trauma stop you from starting that business. Don't let trauma stop you from going to college. Don't let trauma stop you from getting that degree. Don't let trauma stop you from moving on with your life.
We love Benny McCauley. Hello, cutie.
What's good, y'all? So girl fats, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are having a blessed day. I hope you guys are having a blessed week. I hope you guys are staying safe. Before I start with this video, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you turn your notifications on so you can be notified every time I post a video. For those who don't know, I finally launched my brand and my business, the Riyama Collection. The Riyama Collection showcases a variety of African print modern clothing, headbands and head wraps made in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. We showcase a variety of African print wide leg trousers, African print culottes, African print blazers, African print headbands and head wraps. Go and check us out at www.theriyamacollection.com, and also make sure you follow us on Instagram at the Riyama Collection, and subscribe to our newsletter so you can be notified every time we have discounts, exclusives and new arrivals. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about trauma. Trauma can be a psychological and an emotional response that a person could go through due to a disturbing or an upsetting experience that they went through. It could be a traumatic experience that they went through in their childhood, in their teenage stage, or in their adult life. Someone could go through a traumatic experience when they were in a relationship, when they were in a marriage. Someone could even go through a traumatic experience at a job, or it could be a traumatic experience in a divorce. It could be a traumatic experience when they were moving homes, when they were going into foster homes, going from homes to homes to homes to homes. That could be a traumatic experience. It could be a traumatic experience not having a father in your life, not having two parents in your life, not having siblings in your life, not having your family in your life. So moving to a new city, moving to a new country, that is all a traumatic experience, and every single person in this world has been through a traumatic experience. They may not realize that they went through a traumatic experience, but every single person has gone through a traumatic experience. It might have affected us emotionally, physically, financially, mentally. For some people, it takes time to heal from that trauma. It takes time to move on from that trauma. A lot of people deal with trauma in different ways. Some people lash out when it comes to trauma. Some people behave in certain ways because of the trauma that they went through. Some people have to go through therapy, counseling to heal from that trauma. Some of us, we don't even know that it's affected us. Some of us don't even know that we have dealt with trauma. But every single person has dealt with trauma. The reason why I'm talking about this, right? About a month ago, it was Ramadan, and I was sitting on the prayer mat, I was reading the Quran, and I was just reading the Quran, and then all of a sudden something popped up in my mind, and it was something that I went through when I was a child. Normally it doesn't affect me like this, but I just don't know why, but I started crying out of nowhere. And then I held back my tears and I carried on reading the Quran. And then as I was reading the Quran, I started like crying more and more, because that situation that happened to me when I was a child kept popping up in my head, and I just busted out crying. Like I was just crying like a baby. I was crying like a baby, and every time when I wanted to carry on reading the Quran, I just couldn't, because I was just crying so much. After that, I went to my mum's room, and then I was like crying. My mum was like, "Oh my god, what's going on? Like, why are you crying like this?" And then I was like to her, like, I'm remembering everything, like everything is coming back into my mind again. I don't know why. Like normally I'm able to deal with it. I spoke to her about a certain situation that happened to me when I was a child. My mum knew about that situation that happened. I basically expressed more to my mum on what happened to me when I was a child, and in my opinion, I thought my mum knew about it, but she said that she didn't know about it, and she was just literally like she just felt bad, she felt sorry for me, and she was literally like, I had no idea that more stuff happened, like I didn't know that this happened. I'm not gonna say what it was, but she was like, I didn't know that happened, like you should have told me, you know. I was like to my mom, like, this has never happened to me, like this has never ever happened to me, like this would never affect me like this. My mom was like, it's because God is trying to relieve you from that situation. She kept saying to me, you should have told me, like why didn't you not tell me? And I was like, I thought you knew. And she was like, no, I didn't know that this and this happened. But one thing I realized, that I didn't let that trauma stop me from becoming who I am today. I didn't let that trauma stop me from getting that degree. I didn't let that trauma stop me from getting a job. I didn't let that trauma stop me from getting my own place. I didn't let that trauma stop me from loving myself, being who I am, accepting who I am, loving my flaws. I know it's something that some of you guys don't want to hear, because you feel like you just can't get through that trauma. Like it's impossible to get through that trauma. You're probably still healing from that trauma, but I'm here to say that don't let trauma stop you from making something of yourself. Don't let trauma stop you from getting that career. Don't let trauma stop you from starting that business. Don't let trauma stop you from getting that car. Don't let trauma stop you from going to college. Don't let trauma stop you from getting that degree. Don't let trauma stop you from moving on with your life. Don't let that gift and talent stop you from making something of yourself. Your gift and talent will make room for you in this world. You know, I feel like for me, I didn't let anything stop me from becoming who I am today. Like prayers, consistency and motivation, hard work. I kept going. I never stopped. And I'm still not going to stop. Make sure you're always listening to motivational speakers, listening to daily I am affirmations every morning. You know, it might not be the main thing that will help you, but it's a start. It's a start to just knowing yourself, knowing your worth, knowing who you are, accepting who you are with your flaws. But anyways, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, share and subscribe, and I shall see you on my next video. Bye.